Okay, so my name's Jason Wesaw. I'm Potawatomi, and I'm from southwestern Michigan.
What medium do you work in, Jason?
Okay, I work in a variety of medium, from clay to two-dimensional oil pastels on paper that have some embroidery involved, some hand-dyed and hand-sewn fabric pieces that are then stretched like paintings, and a bit of photography as well.
What is the significance of working in those materials for you?
I'm trying to find a way to tell my stories that stretches through those mediums because different viewers are interested in different surfaces, different shapes, but I'm just trying to attempt to tell those stories with those same aesthetic qualities that flow through the different medium.
Can you share a little bit about what your creative process looks like from start to finish?
My work is a lot about connection to the earth, connection to old ceremonies. So part of my process might be taking a hike in the woods. Some of my process is being in those traditional ceremonies, like a longhouse or a sweat lodge, and just hearing those old stories. And I think they're very relevant today. So from being in those places and hearing those stories, then usually it'll lead into writings, and then from my writings start to develop these symbols and these icons that begin to nag at me enough that they want to get out onto the paper or they want to show themselves on the vessel.
What or who inspires you the most?
So my ancestors, my elders, my tribal culture, that connection to our natural environment here, my children, they're all huge motivators for me because those stories that are old that still exist, the way that we continue is by our kids knowing them, our grandkids knowing them. But they learn differently than what people did 80, 100 years ago, 300 years ago. But yet those same stories are still alive. So I feel like through my art is a way to start telling those stories maybe in a visual way, that people may be able to more easily learn about them in today's world.
How do your modern pieces tell stories and traditional depictions of Native people and animals?
Okay, well, I guess I kind of got at it in that last question, but we're so inundated with imagery nowadays, but yet everything to do with our traditional stories was all orally passed down. It's not like written stories in a book that my children could open up and read. But yet when they come down to my studio or when I'm at a show and I'm talking with someone about my work, the viewer's going to see what they see in the work, but then through hearing my stories behind the work, they really begin to visualize those simple colors and that connection to our environment and how all those things play through a piece and eventually reveal themselves as a very traditional story.
Jason, what are you most proud of in your life and your body of work? What would you say you're most proud of?
I'm just proud of the family that I come from and the family that I've created. I'm proud that these various aspects of my life intersect in, I think, a really cool way. So my day job in historic preservation with the tribe intersects fluidly with my artwork and my creativity, intersects fluidly with my love to travel and my love to be in those ceremonies with my people. So it all really just comes together, and I feel blessed to be able to do it.
What do you want viewers to notice or know or appreciate about you and your work after viewing the show?
My hopes is that they just understand that even if Potawatomi people have been in the shadows in these local communities, that we have always been here. And I think when folks come to this show and they see the work by all of us Anishinaabe artists, then they'll realize that that deep connection, the deep roots that we have here in this West Michigan area is really evident in the works that we make, the stories that we tell, the understanding that we have of this place that we come from.
What are you working on right now? Anything exciting that's upcoming for you?
Well, of course, the show at Saugatuck Center for the Arts. I've got a number of different commissions lined up for work in both public and private collections. And really, for me, just trying to grow my work to a place where I feel comfortable knowing that the two-dimensional and three-dimensional works that I create together are successfully exhibited together. So that's still a challenge or a problem that I'm trying to work out.
Right. Anything else that you want a viewer to know?
Never be afraid to ask. Never be afraid to ask us about who we are, what we believe in, what our story is. All right.